Hello friends, do you have better buff than your opponent? If yes, but still you're unable to take portals, building or temples within the SVS just simply because your opponent is using the counter marches against your higher buff marches, right? So what exactly I mean by that? Suppose guys at K38 with junior march size buff, this is my march size around 2.4 million, and this is my caps buff that is around the 1500% plus. So suppose if opponent is using the 1400% buff archer march or 1300% buff archer march, even with the 100 or 200% buff difference, still he can easily take out my caps march with the help of his counter troop, that is the archer march. So suppose if in case even if he do not have the that kind of the march size, those are around the 2.4 million, he's only having the 2 million march size, mean he's there at the lower level. Still with the help of the counter troop, he can easily take out your higher buff march. Right now I'm giving the example of the caps. Same goes for the archer. Your opponent can use the ground troop. Same goes for the ground. Your opponent can easily use the caps counter march. Only with the absolute huge difference you would be able to save your march. Otherwise, if your opponent is using the counter marches, you will easily lose your higher buff marches, right? So now guys, is there is any solution for you to protect your marches against those counter marches? Then definitely guys, the answer is yes. In a game, solution is already there, and those are the mixed marches. Mixed marches are counter for the counter marches. Now guys, let's speak about how to build a mixed march, or what are the options we have, or what should be the setup for mixed march. Firstly guys, I will suggest that you should do the mixing in between ground plus calves or calves plus ground. These two looks promising as compared to the other, but as of now guys, I will suggest that you proceed with any of these only. Right now guys, let's speak about in which ratio we should do the mixing. So I will suggest guys that you should do the 70% for your main troop and 30% for your supporter troop. If not this one, then I will suggest that you try with the 65% for your main troop and 35% for your supporter troop. Around this particular percentage only you should try the mixing in your mix march, right? Now guys, let's speak about general selection. What should be the best general for your mix march? So suppose guys, if in case you using the caps plus ground mix march, then I will suggest you to proceed with these kind of the general for your mounted one, right? And why is that? Because guys, these are giving the stats for your ground troop as well. Ground troop and mounted troop HP by 40%. Even in this specialty, you can see ground troop mounted troop defense by 25%, ground troop and mounted troop HP by 25%. Here also you can see the ground troop attack by 10%, and even over here you can see the some of the ground troop stats are there, right? So these kind of the general guys is specifically there from the EVONY side, from the game side, so that you can build the perfect mix march. And plus guys, these general are also the one of the top mounted general. So if you want to use these general for your normal march, you can also do that as well, right? Plus, at the same time, you can also run the mix march with the same generals as well, right? And now in the assistant general guys, what you should use, you can proceed with the same kind of the general who also giving the ground troop stats with mounted troop buffs, or what you can do guys, you can also proceed with these kind of the general in an assistant general, right? Because if you look at this stat, it is giving the ground troop attack by 45% and ground troop and mounted troop defense and HP by 30%, right? And even the speciality, you can see the mounted troop defense by 35%, and even over here you can see the mounted troop attack by 10%. So game is delivering you all of these kind of the general even within the ground as well, and even in the caps as well, so that you can run your mixed march as perfectly as possible, right? And if in case guys you want to run the ground plus caps mixed march, then you can use these kind of the general as a main general and can use the same kind of the general as a assistant, So this is regarding the general selection, guys, if you want to build the calves plus ground or ground plus calf mixed march, right? Now let me show you guys how exactly I do the layering while running the mix march. This is just for an example, guys. You do the layering according to whatever you think is best for you. This is just for an example, right? So firstly, guys, let's check it out, the ground plus calf mix march, where ground 70% and the calf supporter is at the 30%, right? After doing all of these small layers, then I'm doing the 70 and 30% ratio, right? And instead of the three big layers, guys, I'm only doing the two so that I can have the at least one thick layer, right? And that many troops I'm using within the calf troop, guys, and I'm layering it down till the bottom, guys, as I mentioned in my previous video, attack march advanced layering, right? I'm layering it down till the bottom with the good small layers, right, for both of these troop type. And in the rest of these two troops, I'm putting up the 1k 2k layer, whatever you feel best for you. So this is for the ground plus calves march, guys. There is simply no way to one shot mix march as long as you have better buff than your opponent, right? Now let's check it out, guys, the calves plus ground mix march. Now guys, this is the calves plus ground mix march. Again, I'm layering it down both of these troop type from top to bottom, and rest 1k 2k whatever you want you can put it up. And in the calves march, guys, if in case you want, you can put it up big quantity within the T13 as well. It's totally up to you. You can test however you want. I'm just showing this layering just as an example, how I did it, right? So this is for the calves plus ground mix mass, where calves is there at the 70% and ground is there at the 30%, right? And you just put this particular march within the portal or anywhere and let your opponent hit with any march that he wants to hit. And simply there is no way to one shot any mix march as long as you have better buff than your opponent. So guys, this is about the layering and how exactly you can build your mixed marches. And let me clearly specify, guys, that these mixed marches are there for the player who is having the better buff than their opponent and facing the problem from the counter marches, right? And if in case, guys, you do not have the better buff than your opponent, then there is no point in using the mixed marches. You just simply use your counter marches against the higher buff player, right? So that you can win against them, right? And these mixed march is exactly the concept for the higher buff player so that they can win against your counter marches as well. So yep, guys, I think this is it for this particular video, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video, and bye bye for now.